Wastewater contains microorganisms. Many microorganisms. Most of them comes from humans. We excrete big amounts of microorganisms, and when we are healthy, it might not be a big problem, but if we are not healthy, we will excrete microorganisms that can cause diseases. If we look at the concentration of microorganisms in raw sewage, they are shown here as examples, and as you can see, there are everything in sewage with respect to microorganisms. If we look for someone, we will find it. Some are found in very high concentrations, of course, E. coli and the streptococci, but many others are also found in significant concentrations. There are viruses, there are worms, protozoa, colifags, and so on. Even when we biologically treat the wastewater and reduce the amount of microorganisms significantly, as you can see, there might be a reduction with a factor 1,000 for some of the microorganisms. Still, there are a lot of microorganisms left in the wastewater. It's important to realize that the microorganisms present in wastewater are the sole reason or the original reason for having wastewater handling and treatment in modern cities. Back in the 1850s, with the big cholera epidemics, the decisions were taken in many countries around the world that the wastewater had to be collected and taken out of the city. The idea at that time was not to treat it, it was to get it away from the human beings that had produced it because it was dangerous to them. So that was the reason for the big projects of sewer systems in many countries 150 years ago. In the meantime, there's a tendency to have forgotten the original reason for handling wastewater. Now we are very much concerned about the nature, and it's obvious that we pollute the nature by the wastewater we discharge into it. But from the beginning, that was not the problem, and nobody thought it would be a problem. Just get it out of the reach of humans. But still, the wastewater have these microorganisms, and it's important to be aware of it. It's important to be sure to handle the wastewater correctly, also for the workers at the treatment plant, because it is infectious. It is dangerous to be too close to inhale too much aerosols from the wastewater. So that is very important to know about these dangers related to wastewater. If it is handled in the right way, it can be handled without problems. It's not so that workers at wastewater treatment plant that are run professionally, they are not more ill than other people in the city. But if it's not run professionally, they will be ill, or they will leave the job and to find another job where they don't get so much ill. So that there might be a selection procedure in workers at treatment plants. But if handled correctly, wastewater can be handled without problems to those who handle it. If we look at the effluent from biological treatment, which were on the slide here, we can see that the coli is, in this case, 10,000 per 100 milliliter, and so still a significant amount. The bathing water criteria, some places are 1,000 E. coli per 100 milliliter of water. So in this exercise, we would calculate the needed dilution in the receiving water to reach the bathing water criteria for wastewater of high microbial strength from the table 3.6. So if you try to calculate the needed dilution. The concentration in raw wastewater of E. coli is 10 to the 7th. And the dilution needed, we need to end up with 1,000 E. coli per 100 milliliter, so this is equal to 10 to the 7th divided by the dilution needed. So the needed dilution is 10 to the 7th divided by 1,000, which is 10 to the 4th, which is 10,000. So this is a very strong dilution needed if we want to take the raw wastewater and dilute it until bathing water criteria. Even with the treated wastewater, we need a dilution of at least 10 in order to live up to the bathing water criteria, where the 1,000 is the absolute maximum allowable amount of E. coli in bathing water. Most people will not like to bathe in wastewater which is diluted 10 times for their bathing purposes.